What's good, y'all? Welcome to my review for Justice League Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2. Yeah, it finally released on HBO Max. This one I almost missed. I was literally place where I found out about this. So, it was like yesterday, probably the day before. I was downstairs. My mom was watching something that sounded like Mad Max Fury Road. I was like, what the hell is she watching? Is she rewatching Fury Road or something? Turns out she was watching Furiosa. I was like, what the fuck? That's on HBO Max already? How have I not seen any advertisement for this? Like for Godzilla vs. Kong or Godzilla X Kong, New Empire. I saw ads for that. They were marketing that, hey, it's coming to HBO Max and this time. So I was like, okay, cool. Went to HBO Max, made sure I had on my my list or whatever those things are, the watch list, whatever those things are called, and then got ready for the release date. When it finally came out, you guys and I watched it and then posted my review. Well, I did get there, but after I did it, that's when I then start seeing ads for it. That it was on HBO Max now, so it was after the fact. But yeah, as I was looking out there when I was looking through it to find it, I then also saw that part 2 of Justice of Infinite Earths was on there as well. So cool. I don't know how long we're gonna have to wait till for part 3 to come out there, man. I wouldn't be surprised if that ends up not happening until next year. At the rate they were going on, because part 1 came out in April? I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure when. I have to check back on my review of part 1 to do to check for exact dates. But I wouldn't be surprised if part 3 doesn't come to maybe November-ish, since it's already been out on Blu-ray for a while now. Or we end up not seeing it until 2025, which would suck. So hopefully we maybe can get it in November or October, in November or December. But we'll have to wait to see on that. How long we'll have to wait for part 3, and I can finally finish off this trilogy as well as the Tomorrowverse as a whole, as DC now begins their new venture with their new DC animated films universe, whatever they're going to call it this time. Whatever the case may be, man. Anyway, the film itself, man, I personally loved it. I definitely would say I like this a bit more than part 1. I definitely had a lot more fun with this one, and I kind of like what the story with this one, man. And also, as you guys know, Batman Beyond is in this one, so that obviously was a massive plus for me to finally get to see Batman Beyond again, man. And they got the same voice actor who's slipping my name at the current moment to come back, of course, to reprise his role as Terry McGinnis. He sounded great. He doesn't talk much, which sucks. He has maybe only a couple of lines, but it was still great to hear Terry speak nonetheless, ladies and gentlemen. So yeah, without further ado, guys, let's just jump right into the actual review. So the movie's directed by Jeff Wamster, if I'm pronouncing his last name right, and stars Jensen Ackles, Darren Chris, I don't know, Stanla Katic, if I'm pronouncing right, Meg Donnelly, and many more. And the plot of Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 2, an endless army of shadow demons threaten to destroy the world and all parallel Earths. Well, the only thing opposing them is the mighty combined power of Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, Green Lantern, and they're all their fellow superheroes. Now, the cast once again is great. Jensen Ackles, he's once again great as Batman throughout the Tomorrowverse. As you guys know, he originally played Red Hood in Batman Under the Red Hood. So obviously, I mentioned this in my reviews for the long Halloween, but it was cool to see him, actually get to play Batman for once, man. I also gotta say that Damian is in the movie as well, so it's pretty cool to him. Although he isn't actually played by the same Damian, and I'm pretty sure it's because he's not the same Damian we saw in the Super Sons movie, I believe. I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a different Robin, different Damian from that universe that he's in with that has, Tim, that has, Terry in there, Huntress, Dick Grayson, Batgirl, and Batwing as well. Pretty sure it's supposed to be from that universe. Either way, man, he was awesome. It seems like actually both him and Dick were actually played by the same actor, Zach Callison, I think is I say his name, which I actually at first I thought that Dick was actually first voiced by Yuri, because he sounds a lot like Yuri, but he was great too, and he sounded great as Damian as well. Meg Donnelly, who you guys know plays Kara, who actually did see the movie she had. I forget what her movie was that was called through the Tomorrowverse. I actually saw that, I want to say, on the plane back, on the ride home from on the shuttle back from the airport back to Lancaster, for my mom picked me up when I was coming back from the dorm. It was either that or I watched it during one of the longest road trips to HSU. I think it was somewhere, or when we were coming back, somewhere along that time frame is when I actually watched this movie. I was watching it while during a long road trip, and it was a pretty good movie. Nothing really to write home about, but I enjoyed. Yuri was actually in that movie though, so you know she's cool. I really liked her portrayal of Kara in that one as well as this one, man. And she's definitely way more like almost the main character for part two. I would dare say is definitely her, man. She was great. I really like it. I really like what they did with Kara. And I actually like how they kind of like filled in the gaps seemingly between this and her and the solo movie that she had in the Tomorrowverse. Seemingly, I'm not sure if these are the same Kara and these are the same events from where we saw the Star movie to the events of her solo film she had, or if this is like two different Karas or whatnot, man. But if it is the same one, I thought it's kind of cool. They actually got to fill in the blanks and what led her to that moment, and you can actually see footage of the movie playing in the background of a couple of scenes with the monitor if you were paying attention to the background, man, which I thought was kind of cool that they incorporate that into the film. But yeah, she was pretty cool, man. And as I mentioned before, man, Terry's in there, man. Batman Beyond. I really liked how they used him and brought him into the Tomorrowverse with the art, with how he looked in the art style change and everything, man. Although it definitely seemed like they made him a bit taller compared to how he was in the Batman Beyond series, and he definitely looked a bit more muscular. I could be wrong on that one because obviously I haven't seen Batman Beyond in forever, but it looks like they made him a bit taller as well as a bit more muscular, which I kind of dig it, man. I like what they did with his design during this movie, man. But yeah, I thought that was pretty cool as well. The animation is really good as well, man. While this is definitely no Mappa level Sakuga Fest, but like the movie is like the actual animation is very fluid, man. Especially during the fights, man. They look really good. Like I said, it ain't some Mappa level Sakuga Fest, but I liked it. But the fights themselves look really good, man. The animation was really fluid for them, and they look pretty good. I dare say the cinematography was also pretty good as well for this movie. Like nothing really that mind blowing, but there were some really nice shots in the movie, man. At least in my personal opinion, that I really enjoyed. One thing that I also thought was pretty cool was there's this one funny scene which Batman kind of contradicts himself because of the Super Sons movie, where he is sent to Earth 2 to protect the tower there because it's set in Gotham City, and there's already the Bat film, they're already in that Gotham City ready to protect, which like I said has Terry, Dick, Damian, etc. Well, we find he's like Damian, Bruce in this was like, I can't believe the Batman this year brought kids to war. I would never do that. I was right to leave you in the orphanage. And it's like, bro, isn't your son Robin in your universe, man? You definitely did bring kids to war. Like, it was one funny that I was like, oh yeah, Batman's making fun of the whole thing about him always enlisting kids, as Robin and his other sidekicks, man. Like, there's like, that's only been like kind of like a running joke with Batman family. In like the Batman fandom or whatnot about that whole thing. But at the same time, he's also contradicting himself because, of course, Damian is in there. Unless the Super Sons movie isn't connected to this, and that's its own separate thing, and they just reuse the same cast. I don't know if it is part of the Tomorrowverse, considering it had a completely different art style and everything, man. I don't know if it was his own separate thing or not, but I thought that was pretty funny. Regardless, I thought it was pretty funny. That was a pretty funny line that got a chuckle out of me. I also like for this movie is that this movie definitely, this was kind of also a little problem how movie because it was a bit more slower pace and almost felt like it was like set up like almost like part one and part two were like flipped almost, because part one definitely didn't really have much set up. It was predominantly focused on the Flash and the event itself of Crisis and just everything going on from there. Part two feels more like it's more set up. Like this would have been part one rather than part two of this three-part trilogy, at least to me, man. Where it felt like it was a lot more with setting up things, explaining exposition and introducing new characters for this one that I'm assuming is going to lead into part three and all that jazz, man. But I did think it was kind of cool to see like the more like, I guess, the cosmic area of the DC universe, which is something I don't really see because you guys know I don't read DC comics. I've definitely always been, you guys know I'm a Marvel guy. I read the Batman and Robin comics because you guys know how much I love Damian. So yeah, that's where my DC knowledge, like my knowledge of DC is limited, like the movies and such, man. So that was kind of cool to see the cosmic area of the DC universe, and kind of like hear the Mantra explain different things, and like Kara is there, Kara doing separate things while she was stuck in his base before she went back to Earth to find Kal-El. That's about all for pauses before we jump in. I think the only negatives I have is one, of course, Tim. That Terry doesn't say much. I wish he had a lot more dialogue. Which maybe in part 3 we'll get to see Terry speak a lot more, which would be nice, man. Because you guys know I love Batman Beyond, so it would be nice if he got to actually have a bigger role in part 3. But I definitely would say, like, this movie definitely felt a bit more slower paced and felt like it was a lot more setup compared to part 1. Now, I have no idea if the comic itself was structured like this or paced like this. Because like you guys know, I haven't read it. This was kind of like, that's why I was looking forward to it. I was like, okay, cool. I get to finally see Christ on Infinite because I don't watch the Arrowverse. So I was really excited to see this iconic DC event and finally get to experience it. So I have no idea if the comic was structured like this as well, if this was just something that the movies are doing. But yeah, it definitely felt a little bit more slower paced compared to part 1. It felt like it was a little bit more, a bit more on exposition and setting up things compared to how part 1 handled it, man. And then I'm assuming part 3 will definitely be a lot more action focused, and that's where all the crazy shit will start happening, man. So there you go, man. Now, so yeah, like I said, guys. So expect once this review is up, you guys will probably also see the reaction for the part 3 trailer. Probably drop the same day right afterwards, man. Because you guys know I watch the part, and then I watch the trailer the next part, and then you'll wait till the review it, and then I do the next part, man. So looking forward to part 3, man. Once again, hoping and praying, man, we get to see Damien Ray in part 3 in some capacity. Yo, that's my last hope, man. I got Super Wonder in there, man, which I wasn't even expecting getting it, but I was happy to get that, man. I got Batman Beyond. It was nice to see him again. And yeah, hopefully we get to see Damien Ray in some capacity, man. Please, I am begging you, DC. Give it to me, man. We are starving here, man. But we'll have to wait and see on that once part 3 is finally released on HBO Max in God knows how many months. But anyway, guys, overall, I'm going to give this, my final verdict for this movie is going to be a 9 out of 10, guys. So if you guys do the video, you like, if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow me on social if you feel like it. Link, subscribe below. And as always, back for more. See you guys next time. She's